Hey everybody, this is David at BarnYard Bees. We're in the Dearth on this little two-frame nuke right here. See this little queen right there? She's walking around to the other side. This is a new colony, a very young queen. And she has a very small hive. And the frame was selected from another donor colony that had a few eggs, larvae, cat brood, but she was introduced as a queen cell, and she's already laying. It's hard to see on the camera. I wish you could see down in the cells better, because she's got very, very small pattern of eggs. Very small. But she will pick up pace as she gets older. She's tiny. She's not very big. And try to roll around there. She keeps hiding. So, but what I wanted to talk about today is dearth and the dangers of dearth and how bad it can be on these colonies that are small, like this right here, that can be mixed in, that are mixed in with other large colonies. And that's where the issues are. That's where the problems are. Most people that raise bees will have 2 or 3 large colonies in their yard, and they're usually not vulnerable to a whole lot of robbing and problems like that. But in yards like this, where you're trying to actually raise bees and raise small nukes and mating nukes, that's where the biggest issue is. Now spin around here to the front. Okay, this right here, you notice I don't have an entrance reducer on it, and it should. That's my neglect right there, and it could be very vulnerable for an attack. But that's why, and I argue with people like this all the time, every single year, about stopping hive top feeders through the dearth and doing open feeding far away from your colonies, at least 300 feet. So a lot of people don't realize, or they'll have never do this too. Some people will extract their honey, and then they bring those frames back to be cleaned out by their other bees, not knowing they're creating a huge problem. Some people will put them right next to their bee yard. If you're going to do that, put them just like you would a feeder, 300 feet away at least. Further if possible. Stuff like this can cause problems. You could accidentally spill some syrup, some feeding syrup, or spill a soft drink out on the ground, and it's just a reaction that gets worse and worse, and then next thing you know, they're attacking a hive. As I look across the bee yard here, everything's calm. There's no aggressive activity. You can see down through here, and well, there again, there's another one that's not, but I've not had any issues. I should have reducers on them. I know that. They should have a small reducer on them, but I've not had any issues, and a lot of that contributes to the hive top feeding, and it's just not, in my opinion, it's not necessary at this time of year. Keep it away from your yard. And a lot of people think, I'm gonna kind of go over the comments a little bit. Some people say, well, I don't want to feed everyone else's bees. How many bees do you think are in the area? How many beekeepers do you actually have? Most of the time, not always, but most of the time, if I would shut down this bee yard and put out some sugar water, the only thing that would show up would be wasp and yellow jackets, because there wouldn't be any honeybees around. Very little around. And that's probably the issue in most areas is, except for your bees, there's probably not a whole lot others around, because the bees are pretty much, the ones that live in the trees in the wild are very, very few of them. There's very few of them in this day and time. So most of the bees that you see, the majority of them, come from somebody's bee yard. So kind of keep that in mind as well. And then I'm going to go over the comments, and I won't get mean with it. I'll hold back on that. But people saying you're causing disease, I'm trying to get in their mind and understand their thinking. They act like their bees only feed in their yard, and they're contained to their yard only. If that was the case, well, you could probably contain any kind of infestation of disease or mites or whatever. But you do realize these bees go 3 miles to feed. So that's a 3 mile, you could point 3 miles that way and 3 miles that way. That's 6 all the way around. That's how far up to that these bees will travel. And like I said, they'll congregate at a local dumpster, a trash pickup facility, anywhere they can find sugar water or anything sweet, they're going to congregate. And guess what? They're community feeding, aren't they? It's just not, it doesn't make sense. And I've done it for years and not had an issue. And any beekeeper I know that's done it, and I know a lot of beekeepers, has not had any issues with it. So let's get back to the truth and the real reason that the dearth is dangerous is, yes, they could starve out some of your younger colonies. Doesn't so pertain much to the people that keep bees for honey, because if you do like you're supposed to leave a surplus for them. With these bees, you're doing splits, there's not a whole lot of surplus to begin with. So when there's nothing out there and it's hot temperatures, the days are long, you know, the bees are running from 6:30 a.m. in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. They're looking for something and they need it, and they're burning a lot of calories, and they do need food. Now, having said that, about the small bee yard, that's why we external feed and have so much luck with it. The problem is the bees starve out and they catch wind of another colony, a small colony, like this one right here. Got it set by 2 large ones right here, another small one right here, another small one right there, larger one right there on the end, all the way through the yard. Yeah, you could separate it. If I had one robbed out here, I would show you a demonstration of what they look like, but I've not had any robbing. And you'll know because you'll see wax cappings in front of the entrance. If they're not there ripping it out at the time, you'll see where they had been there. And sure enough, you'll open the colony and there'll just be a handful of bees and no queen. And you'll know what happened is that hive got robbed out, and it happens. I'm telling you, it happens. But play it right. Keep that sugar water away from your hive. Some people say it's no problem. Okay. Look, I'm just, if you're an advanced beekeeper, you could probably do it with your techniques that you could get away with it. But when we're talking about the new beekeepers, the ones that are just starting, I'm telling you, they're going to have issues because something's going to go wrong, because they won't do it to the T like they're supposed to, and they'll spill a little bit of sugar water, or they'll take too much time in the feeder, and the bees will get to following around with that sugar water. I'm telling you, new beekeepers, don't even attempt it. Keep, you know, when you get past the dearth, and you'll know, it's so easy to tell because of the way the bees act. They act so much more aggressive, like a hungry lion. is the best way to describe it. And they're ruthless. They will kill anything. They will kill each other, rip each other apart, another colony, just to get to that sugar water. You'll know when you drop some sugar water in front of your hive or up on your sidewalk somewhere, and those bees attack it, and they attack it aggressively. It's so easy to tell. Just like, look at the feeder video, my last video about how to feed bees safely through the dearth. You'll see there, they're just aggressively attacking that sugar water. Usually, in general, here in North Georgia, usually by September, it's calmed down a lot. We're starting to get a little bit of fall flowers by then. Usually the worst dangers is July and August. That's the worst. That's the worst with the dearth. Usually starting around 1st of July, slowly. Not bad, because the end of June, we're still getting clover and a lot of other stuff around. But by mid-June, it's picking up pace really bad. And by end of July and August, it's not good. And then next thing you know, in the fall, well, guess what shows up? The yellow jackets. Now they're trying to rob out your honeybees. So that's why I always try to tell people, at least people that's into football, how beekeeping is. You start off with an easy team to begin the year with, and you think, oh, this is so easy. And then by the end of the year, you're playing the best team in the nation, like Georgia. So that's just how it goes. And so it gets harder and harder as the year goes on. I try to teach people that. But that's about it. I'll quit rambling on. I just wanted to talk about a little bit the dangers of the dearth, because that's what we're in, and that's what we're teaching about now. So folks, don't forget, please help share my videos. Check out BarnYardBees.com. So please click on the little bell, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. BarnYard Bees.